this, let me transfer it over to Mr. Rajesh, who is Executive Vice President, Chief Digital Officer, and Head of Cybersecurity at Yotta. Apart from that, my very good friend as well. So, Rajesh ji, over to you.
Thank you, Vikas, for the warm introduction. I'm sure all our audience who are CIOs, CISOs, and CTOs or IT infra heads, they're all geared up to gain insights into the ever-evolving threat landscape and learn how Yotta can partner with them to help in their digital transformation journey. We have seen that at times, these are the times when businesses are aggressively investing in the next phase of digital transformation, and any incident of a cyber attack can wreak havoc on their efforts. Hence, it's very important today to gain complete visibility into the cyber threats that could target your digital footprint. But it is easier said than done because enterprises' digital footprints itself is extremely, tremendously becoming more complex. And gaining visibility of every layer and every element demands a large, very sophisticated and dedicated skill force if they do it in the traditional way. Now, this is where we have designed something called Yotta Smart Cybersecurity Offerings, which is delivered by Yotta's certified cybersecurity professionals, and they help businesses gain complete visibility and real-time visibility into their entire digital footprint, and will also help them to identify and stay protected against their ever-evolving cyber threats. To share about this service, I have got my colleague Abhishek Gupta, who will deep dive into the service and help all of you to learn how Yotta can partner in your journey towards cyber resiliency. Over to you, Abhishek, for this.
Thank you, Rajesh. So let me share my screen. So I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much to give us an opportunity to showcase Yotta's Smart CSOC solution powered by IBM QRADAR. We can see the evolving threat landscape, as you can also observe in the slide. Across various industries, number of attacks increase year on year. There are some stats you can see from year 2020 and year 2021. So in this particular table, we can see except financial and insurance sector, most of the sectors are having a attack surface increasing. I would say thank you to RBI and PCI DSS. They have created very stringent cybersecurity policies and guidelines for banking, insurance, and financial institutes. Because of that, we are able to see little bit attack surface decrease in financial and insurance sector. When we are talking about mega data breach, so average $400 million is a mega data breach cost, where we are having 50 to 65 million reports. Nowadays, Government of India is promoting manufacturing sector. They want India should become a manufacturing hub after China. So, most of the manufacturing hubs, they are adopting OT technologies. We called it IT and OT technology, right? So we have seen a significant increase, which is 2000% plus in recurrence against the operation technology, which is called OT devices. Most of my peers, friends, believes that whenever we are using Linux operating system for our, business workload, for our corporate workload, so we believe that we are secure. Most of the companies are believing that Linux, we don't require the even antivirus on the Linux operating systems, right? And most of us believes that there is a very low, basically ransom kind of attacks are happening on a Linux platform. Unfortunately, I must say it is a myth. Friends, it is a complete myth. Reason being, we have observed 145% plus ransom attack increase on a Linux platform across various cloud environments. So when we are talking about the cyber attacks, so all of us are very much aware that how dangerous it is for the corporate, how difficult it is for the corporate to come out from the attacked, right? So basically, why we should understand why still, even after so much efforts, why attacks are remain undetected. So let me start with one of the basically, small article. One of the cybersecurity company has found criminals conducted approximate 65,000 attacks through Windows printer spooler application between July 21 to April 22. In addition, nearly half of the attack, which is 31,000 of the attack, occurred in first quarter of 2022. Not even this, even in Black Hat event USA 27 2017, 2017, some hacking group basically share the concept how they are taking important data, like important data. It can be financial data, it can be whatever the data we are printing from the printer, the content they are getting from the printer spooler. As well, they are able to get the list of active directory users from the printer, because most of the cases when we are having a print servers, we are integrating with the AD solution. So when the user is printing something, the user request is coming, and the request is coming with the user ID, right? So we cannot believe such kind of things can happen. Adding fuel to the fire, many devices are low cost and poorly secured, which compounds the security challenges, the lack of visibility into these devices. So mostly the attack remain undetected because of four major reasons: low visibility, unplugged devices, obsolete design, attempting to stay up. So the problem with the obsolete solution is that over the time, new vulnerabilities are discovered that can be exploited by relatively low-skilled attackers. And when we talk about the unplugged devices, so attackers go off the grid and they find the ways to bypass the individual security defense mechanism. So now, how we should come out from these scenarios? How we can protect our infrastructure? How we can make sure that none of the device from our infrastructure should unprotected, or should create a vulnerabilities in our system, or should create a backdoor for the attackers. So SOC is one of the solution. So first of all, let's understand what is SOC and how it is working, how it is helping us. So it is basically a platform that monitor, detect, and responds to the security incident and threats within an organization's network, systems, IoT infrastructure, IT/OT infrastructure also. Now the SOCs are having capability to basically monitor, detect, and respond on a IT and IT/OT components also. So here are some six basically elements which we are trying to present over here, like perform threat hunting, monitoring, and response with the technology and human expertise, rapidly identify and restrict the threats impact with no additional staffing, protect from potential cyber attacks via early detection and detection of threats, a rapidly assessment of attacks for the better response, improve security posture, meet compliance and statutory requirements. These are some basically part what SOC can also do. So why, we should understand why SOC is becoming so popular, even though every second company is deploying SOC solution in their organization. Even a few days back, I was reading one article where they print the SOC is one of the good friend of CISO. So, it was very interesting for me to, read that article. So I also wanted to understand how they are writing such kind of statements. But parallelly, we should also understand why SOC is having so popular these days. Okay, I understand compliance is one of the reason. Okay, that is compliance part. But what about the security part? Why the companies who are not even under the RBI panel or under the SEBI panels, why they are deploying SOC? So there must be some reason. We will discuss in this slide, we will discuss about those reasons. The first and important component is continuous protection. So when we are saying continuous protection, most of us are not having a proper cybersecurity team available in our companies who can work on 24/7 environment. When we talk about the cybersecurity, so cybersecurity landscape is a very big landscape. We start with a parameter security, access management, then data protection, then cloud protection, then your application protection, then endpoint protection. On the base layer, we are having assessment services. On the top layer, we are having a security monitoring services like a SOC solution. So if we have such kind of big platform, the security components available in our organization, so definitely we required skilled resources for each and every component who can work 24/7, which means at least we should run 3 shifts in the organization. Honestly, most of us do not have such kind of skilled resource who can work on 24/7. So Security Operations Center basically fulfill that gap. It is working 24/7 around the year. This uninterrupted monitoring is critical to detecting the first sign of the anonymous activity. So whatever is coming in your network, so on a very first stage, we can find that detection. We can see that suspicious activity in our network through our SOC solution. When we are able to see that detection, definitely we will take some actions on those. So SOC team member continuous monitoring for threats. They decrease the amount of time intervention between when the compromise first occurred and the mean time of detection, right? So this is one part which is called continuous monitoring, but in the other side, it is decreasing the cost of breach and operations. So how it is doing it? So when in the upper side, in the first point, we discussed about the continuous protection. So when we are saying they are monitoring 24/7, they are decreasing the amount of time. So it means by minimizing the amount of time a cyber attacks lurks in the enterprise network, the SOC team can reduce the efforts of a breach, and therefore the potential cost of breach may incur via data loss, lawsuits, or business reputation damage. Even though threat prevention, when we are talking about the SOC, are about more about just the detection incidents. SOC is enable the organization to stay ahead of potential attacks and issues. So these are when we're talking about SOC. So most of us feels that SIEM is a SOC solution. To be very honest, yes, SIEM is a component of SOC, but it is not a SOC solution. So in my next slide, I will explain you what SIEM does and how it is not a complete solution for your organization. But here in this slide, we will talk about what are the components we are covering under our SOC solution. So we have a QRADAR event analytics, which is called SIEM solution. Then we are having a SOAR solution, then X-Force, XDR Connect, UBA, network flow analytics, 24/7 MDR services, risk reduction, incident response, compliance management, and reporting. So as we discussed in the previous slide, it was starting with the SIEM solution. So SIEM is nothing. It is like security information and event management combined, log management, threat detection, and incident response capabilities for comprehensive security monitoring. It is just a definition of SIEM solution, right? But actually what SIEM does, how it is helping us. So when we are talking about certain guidelines, when we are talking about SEBI guidelines, when we are talking about RBI guidelines, when we are talking about PCI guidelines, each and every body says that we must keep minimum 180 days log of our critical infrastructure, right? So if we are talking about only log collection, then SIEM is a good solution. But for the security concern, SIEM is one of the critical component, but is not a full-fledged solution. So what SIEM does now? SIEM is collecting data from various devices. It can be compute like physical servers, virtual machines, Kubernetes, containers, your network devices like firewall, router, switches, network load balancers, application load balancers, then your endpoint devices. That not only this, even it is able to capture logs from your SaaS environment. SaaS environment seems like Office 365. If you have a CrowdStrike, so it can get the logs from the CrowdStrike console or other antivirus like Trend Micro, other all whatever the antivirus is available, it is able to capture logs from all the basically SaaS-based applications. When it is capturing logs from all the different devices, so it is creating the correlation between all the logs and giving us the comprehensive view on a single dashboard. Just imagine if you have 7 to 8 different applications, security applications, right? And or security solutions. If someone will ask you to monitor the logs from each and every device or each and every solution and take the appropriate action, how difficult would be our life, right? Because it is not possible for us to read the logs from each and every device. Then we have to see whether the logs, whatever the incident or whatever the basically alerts they are generating, whether these are the false positive or false negative alerts or a legitimate alerts, right? So SIEM is playing that role. SIEM is capturing logs from different devices. It is creating correlation on those logs, and it is giving you the comprehensive view as well. It is protecting from insider threats, external threats, cloud risk, critical data, and vulnerabilities. So one of the component of our SOC solution is called SOAR. SOAR is basically, I would say, intelligent automation and orchestration solution. Let's take it in an example. So it would be easy for all of us to understand how SOC works or what is actually a SOC role in the SOC SOAR role in the SOC solution. Hypothetical situation, if there is a company called ABC, they are having a web application hosted, right? And at midnight 2 a.m., if they are having any brute force attack happen on their web application, and attacker is trying to basically stolen the credentials of that application, so what SIEM will do? SIEM will get that information that there is a brute force attack is happening. It will generate an incident. It will trigger that incident to the administrator over the mail and over the messages. As we discussed in the previous slide, we all are not having 24/7 security operation available in our company. So at midnight 2 a.m., who will check that email? Who will read that message? Most of us would say, no, we are not able to read messages at the same time. Maybe we will take action at morning 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock whenever we will read the message. Most of the time, it would most of the cases it would be very late action what we would take. Reason being, maybe your credential has been compromised. But if you have deployed SOAR, so you can protect your infrastructure from such kind of scenarios. Basically, SOAR is creating playbooks against your network behavior, against your basically it is understanding your network behavior, application behavior, user behavior. Based on those behavior, it is generating a dynamic playbooks, right? So in the same scenario, brute force scenario, if the attack is happening at midnight 2 a.m., your SIEM solution has find this incident. The SOAR solution will read that incident and it will capture the source IP of the brute force attack. And it will block that IP at the perimeter device, like it can be perimeter router, it can be perimeter firewall. It will block that IP address. So when the IP address is blocked, then definitely this brute force attack has mitigated. It is one kind of basically example I have given to you. There would be multiple type of attacks. There would be multiple type of basically ways we can mitigate attacks through SOAR solution. If there is a study, which is available on Gartner, if you are using dynamic playbooks, your response time is 7x faster than your manual process. So dynamic playbook, it doesn't mean that system is automatically generate playbooks and it is automatically executing it. No. So some playbooks, yes, we by default generate in the SOAR solution. On the very first day, you will get protection from those playbooks. But the customized playbooks is generated by the people. They understand your network behavior, application behavior, user behavior. They understand the process, and then they generate a playbook for that particular attack. Or sometimes systems suggest that this is a behavior and we should have a playbook against that behavior. So then the people, the administrators, so the SOAR administrator has to go through that playbook. They understand the whatever the concept the dynamic playbook has generated, and then if everything goes okay, then he should approve it. Then only this playbook will be available for the future. So here we'll talk about X-Force. X-Force is nothing, it's like a threat intelligence platform. So when we are talking about threat intelligence platform, threat intelligence is evidence-based information about cyber attacks that cybersecurity experts organize and analyze. This information may include mechanism of attack, like what type of attack it is, whether it is a brute force attack, or it is a ransom attack, or it is a phishing attack, what type of attack it is, or what is the mechanism they are using to execute that attack. How to identify that an attack is happening, if already available in your the payloads or the malicious files are already available in your network or on your servers, then how we should identify whether the attack is happening or not. Ways different type of attacks might affect the business, and the last, action-oriented advice about how to defend against the attacks. So this is the work of threat intelligence platform. So this is called XDR. XDR is Extended Detection and Response Solution, again powered by IBM. So what XDR does? First of all, we should understand XDR workflow. XDR is basically doing 4 work. One is correlation, investigation, response, and automation. These 4 things, it is basically, these are the components which is working, but it is getting, okay, so it is creating a platform where you can have a multiple other products which can be connected with the XDR solution, and the XDR is getting sharing feeds with the SIEM and the SOAR solutions. So in the other way, I would say XDR integrate with the existing tools. It is providing basically intelligence automations. It organizes, or it gives you the better visibility. For an example, let's start with the example first. So if we are having a Fortinet firewalls in your environment, for an example just, and if you wanted to see some dashboards on a Fortinet environment, so what you have to do, you have to see the you have to log in a Fortinet dashboard, and only then you can see the Fortinet console, and then only you can see the dashboards. But if you have enabled that Fortinet connector on your XDR, so from this platform also you can see the firewalls dashboards. This is an example I am sharing with you. It can be integrated with ADR, it can be integrated with XDR, SIEM solution. UBA is to be very honest, UBA is a part of SIEM solution, but it is a user behavior analytical system. It is connected with it is getting feeds from the SOAR solution and the other components. So as we talk about UBA, which stands for user behavior analytics, why it is more important for us? Most of us have spent lots of money on on servers protection or network protection, right? Or we have deployed multiple intrusion systems, detection systems, right? But like a Gartner, Forrester's, global threat organization, they have published many times, like over 70% of the attacks happen because of the endpoint compromise. It means the most of the cases, our endpoints are the weakest chain in our infrastructure, and attackers are very smart. They are using our endpoints as a weapon. So they can access our endpoints, or they can they can compromise our endpoints with the multiple ways, like phishing. Phishing one of the method. 46% basically ransoms are coming through the phishing attacks, right? So like people are sending mails, they are sharing some attachment files. Whenever you will open that attachment, that payload will come to your system. Sometimes they are sharing some links with you. So when you click on those links, so payloads are coming in your machines. Sometimes you are surfing some websites where you see some very interesting promotions. You click on that banner, or you click on that link. So some malicious site opens, which again download the payloads or malwares in your machines. So your machine, there are multiple ways we can infect your machine, right, as the attackers. So if we have achieved one phase, I would say if we have compromised your endpoint, so it is easy for us to basically compromise your rest of the environment, because from the endpoint we can scan your internal network. So most of your appliance like firewalls or IDPS is not able to capture whether there is an internal scanning is happening or not, right? So if we have scanned everything, we can know that what backup solution you are using, what backup policies you have created, where is your backup storage drive is mount. So multiple actions we can take against that particular backup solution. Then we can see where is your AD, what is a operating system, like it is whether it is a 16 or 19, whatever the vulnerabilities in 19 we can find, and we can take those advantage of those vulnerabilities to access your AD or to compromise your ADs, right? Or even in the internal also we can run some brute force attack on our AD environment, right? So multiple things can be happen. So what QRADAR basically UBA solution does, first it is capturing in like end user information from the AD active directories. So if any like a suspicious activity it is find on active directory against some user, so it is creating alert. Second information it is getting from the network devices. So whenever the one endpoint is communicating to the other endpoint, or maybe we are scanning entire network from one endpoint, definitely it is using the network. So we can capture such kind of information from our network also, right? So this is an example of our, UBA, what we have discussed over here. So it is called QRADAR NDR, which works on a network flow analytics. It is one of the most critical component. I always, says that NDR must be deployed. What is the reason behind it? Okay, so attackers are or hackers are very intelligent. They are one step ahead than us. So what they does, whenever they release some payload, whenever they drop some payload in your systems, they don't make it available as a file, right, in your system, so that your antivirus or you can easily see and delete that. What they does, they hide those malwares or those payloads in your reputed services, like Windows, in the case of Windows, Explorer.exe, right? So sometimes some attackers, they hide their payloads or malwares inside the Explorer.exe files. So you cannot delete that file. It is a base of your operating system Explorer, right? So you cannot delete that. Now there would be two cases. First case, that Explorer.exe payload or malware maybe do some suspicious activity inside that particular operating system or that particular machine. Then user UBA will work, UBA will get that information. If that compromised machine, right, they can scan your other network, or maybe they are transferring the same payload to the other machines. If they will do such kind of activities, definitely they will use your network, right? So when the traffic will come on the network, we will able to capture the packets. Example, there is a call user A and user B. They both are in the finance department and they both are connected with the same access point. If user A machine is infected and user A machine is transferring payload to the user B, so it means the same access point will transfer, the data will flow between A to B via a same access point. So we cannot monitor that basically attack, or we cannot capture that attack from core router, core switch, right, or firewall, because it is not coming on that level, right? So how we can monitor? QRADAR is a solution. QRADAR NDR is a solution which is capturing your each and every network component, whether it is a firewall or router or L3 switch or L2 switch or access point, or even wireless wireless machines like your attendance machines, right? So it is capturing everything from network, right? So it is capturing each and every packet from all the devices. So it is having a better visibility of an attack, of a malicious activity happening on your network. So we discussed about the component security components like SIEM, SOAR, threat hunting, threat intelligence, right? We talk about XDR Connect, we talk about UBA, we talk about NDR. All these components are incomplete without skilled resources who will run those components, who will work on your SOC application, SOC solution. So as you guys are aware, or maybe there are some people who are not aware, that Yotta is a tier 4 certified data center. This is not only a tier 4, this is tier 4 by facility, tier 4 by second, tier 4 by facility, tier 4 by design, and tier 4 by operations. So there are very few companies in the globe who are tier 4 certified for operations. And I'm happy to say that Yotta is one of them. So what the SOC structure we have created over here is a very redundant SOC structure. It starts with the SOC manager. So on the top of SOC manager, there would be the CISO. After the CISO, there would be SOC manager. Then we have a SOC leader. Then we are having a L3 security analyst, then L2 security analyst, then L1 security analyst teams. On the parallel side, on the other side, we are having a security administrators, threat hunting team. In the other side, we are having a system and network administrators and incident response team, right? So many times when we visit, when we meet customers, so sometimes they ask why we should take services from Yotta. What is your USP? So to be very honest with you, as you know that Yotta is a data center company, so systems, operating systems, and network is a core part of any of the data center company. So if you are having a SOC and we find there are some vulnerability in your network or in your servers, so we can tell you that these are the vulnerabilities in your network which you have to patch or which you have to fix. So maybe you require some operating system administrator who can help you or who can guide you how to patch or how to fix those vulnerabilities. Yotta is the right place because Yotta is having a very big environment where we are using all kind of operating system which start with the Windows, Linux, Unix, Sun Solaris. If we are talking about databases, if you have some vulnerability on the database server, so we have expertise on Oracle database, Microsoft SQL database, S/4HANA. So we are the company who is having complete IT administration skills available. And in most of the SOC companies, they are having 3 to 4 people available in a one shift, and they are running same kind of 3 shifts, in their organizations. But Yotta feels that is not the right approach. If customer is coming to us, they are outsourcing, they are taking our SOC services. So it is our responsibility to give them the holistic cybersecurity approach, holistic SOC structure. So that is what we have built for our customer. The same structure we are running on 24/7 environment. So here we are talking about Yotta SOC service framework. So which is started with the event collection and correlation and normalization, threat intelligence integration, incident detection and alerts, incident investigation and response, reporting and compliance. So let's talk in a real environment. So in the real environment, we are collecting logs from the various devices. When we are collecting logs, we are creating a correlation between those logs. We are having a now comprehensive view. Parallelly, we are getting multiple feeds from the threat intelligence feeds from the multiple sources. So we are able to capture the latest attacks, latest trends. If any incident happens, so we can detect that incident. We can generate the alert. Okay, we have captured one incident. Then we have to work on an incident investigation, and we have to respond against that incident. We have to mitigate that incident, or we have to take appropriate action against that incidents. When that part is complete, then we are having a reporting and compliance part, right? So here we are having a 24/7 cybersecurity monitoring, basically 24/7 vigilance. So as we discussed in the previous slides, cybersecurity centers runs 24/7 around the year, right? So it is very important for us to basically have a continuous monitoring, real-time alerting. If we are having continuous monitoring, we will be able to capture the alerts. We will be able to capture the concerns on the network, suspicious activities on the network on a real time, and we can create the alerting mechanism on that, right? When parallelly we are having a threat intelligence integrations, then in incident triage and investigation, Yotta is having a forensic services also, analysis services also, which we provides to our customer as an add-on services. We are having a reporting and compliance mechanism also. So now we have discussed all this part of the SOC solution. Now we'll talk about why CSOC, what are the CSOC, Yotta CSOC benefits. So here, cost-effective and agile for innovations. We are very open. Whatever the customer's infrastructure, if you are having a hybrid infrastructure, some servers are hosted in AWS, some are here on-prem, some are in Yotta, right, or in NetMagic or any other place. Still, Yotta can give you the smart CSOC solution. A single solution can capture logs from all the devices and give you the comprehensive services. Optimize resource from daily monitoring tasks to focus on a core business. Manage risk and compliance, whatever the risk and compliance you are having. Suppose you are a banking sector, a banking customer, or you are insurance customer, or you are a normal manufacturing customer. So you are coming under certain banking, coming under the certain, coming under the RBI, and insurance is coming under the HIPAA, right? Whatever the reports, compliance reports you required, we are having inbuilt 1800 plus reports available in our solution, and we can schedule those reports based on your demand, and you will get automatically those reports. As well, we are giving you the login credentials. You can anytime log in on the SOC and you can see the current traffic, current basically your cybersecurity posture, and you can download reports based on your demand also. Improved detection and response time, proactive threat hunting and customized security rules, vulnerability scanning, scalable data architecture, inbuilt threat intelligence with forensics investigation capability, SaaS-based SOC solution. So are some in some of the cases, some company wants we should have a in-house SOC solution. So that also we does. So we are creating a complete SOC solution in your on-prem location, but we are monitoring it from our SOC itself. Right. So SaaS-based SOC solution provides on both on public and private cloud also 24/7 availability and support. One of the most critical components, SOC is hosted in Uptime Institute certified tier 4 data center. In most of the companies, they are deploying SOC solution in one of the location, and they are basically delivering SOC services from that location only. But as Yotta, we believe in the redundancy. We believe in one of the maximum uptime we can offer you. So we have designed our SOC solution in two different seismic zones, in two different locations. Our one location is NM1, which is situated in Mumbai, and the other location is D1, which is situated in Greater Noida. For North customers, Greater Noida will be their primary data center, primary SOC, and NM1 would be the DR location. And it is vice versa for South and West customers. NM1 is a primary SOC, and D1 is a DR location for them. So these are some certification and recognitions. Like Yotta is all ISO certified, is having all ISO certifications. They are having PCI DSS certified, they are EMS certified, gold certification, they are SOC 1, SOC 2 certified, and they are having some SAP certifications also. So just a minute, let me showcase you some dashboards also, which will basically help you to understand what is actually QRADAR capability.
So Abhishek, you have 1 more minute.
Yeah,
Great session so far. Yeah, but carry on, please. 1 minute.
Yeah, so these are some dashboards which we are showing you over a dynamic event inflow matrix. Here are some events per users we are showing through UBA. So there are some top event generated by CRE tables. So there are some compliance number of offenses basically. So these are some dashboards which we are as of now presenting to you. But these dashboards can be customized and can create more dashboards based on your demand, your requirement. phishing suspected dashboards. IP address communication, we can create the flow-based, create the workflow also in the SOC solution. UBA offense, exploited by suspicious host activities. Threat intelligence insiders. Avon ransomware, basically detection we have done over here in this dashboard. So these are some dashboards which I have showcased you. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to showcase our CSOC platform.
Perfect timing, Abhishek. 11:45, bang on time. Great. Really appreciate that. Amazing session we have had. Let's have some questions, guys. So if you want to ask live question, please raise your hand. I will unmute you and then you can ask your question.